Have you ever been in a conversation where someone told you something really sad or stressful and you just froze? I mean, completely froze. You understood every word they said. You knew they were hurting, but all you could manage to say was a quiet, awkward, sorry, and then silence. Just that terrible, heavy silence where you stare at your shoes and wish the floor would swallow you whole.
Oh, I have been there so many times. It is the worst feeling in the world. I remember once, a colleague told me her car had been stolen that morning. She was clearly upset, maybe even holding back tears. And I just stood there. In my head, I was thinking, this is a tragedy. I hope she is okay. I want to help. But my mouth just said, oh, that is bad. And then I stopped talking. She looked at me like I was a robot. I felt so cold, even though I didn't mean to be.
Exactly. That is the problem we are solving today. It's not that you do not care. It's that you do not have the empathy script ready in your head. In your native language, you know exactly how to comfort a friend. You have distinct phrases for small problems, big problems, and tragedies. But in English, most learners get stuck on I am sorry or that is too bad. And honestly, those phrases can sound a bit distant if that is all you say.
They definitely act as conversation killers. If I say my dog is sick and you just say sorry, where do we go from there? It feels like a dead end. But if you have the right tools, you can actually build a stronger connection in those difficult moments. You can show your friend that you really hear them.
That is the goal. We want you to move from awkward silence to active support. We are going to teach you a simple 3-step formula that works for almost any piece of bad news, from I lost my keys to I lost my job. It's a system. React, validate, and support. If you follow these 3 steps, you will never freeze again.
React, validate, support. That sounds easy enough to remember. But before we dive into the first step, let's talk about why we freeze. I think a lot of our listeners are afraid of making a grammar mistake when emotions are high. They think, if I say the wrong thing, I'll make it worse.
That is a huge fear. You feel the pressure to be perfect because the situation is serious. But here's the secret. Your friend does not need perfect grammar. They need to feel seen. They need a reaction. That brings us to step 1, the active reaction.
The active reaction. This means we cannot wait for the other person to finish a 5-minute story before we make a sound, right?
Precisely. In many cultures, listening respectfully means staying silent until the speaker is done. But in English conversation, especially when sharing drama or bad news, silence can be interpreted as boredom or lack of caring. You need to use what we call micro-reactions or active listening sounds while they are talking.
So these are the little interjections we make. Things like, oh no, or really?
Yes, but let's look at the specific phrases that work best for bad news. The most common, safest one is simply, oh no. But the tone is everything. If I say it flatly, oh no, it sounds sarcastic. You have to drop your jaw and lengthen the vowel. Oh no. Try that.
Oh no.
Exactly. It sounds like you're feeling a bit of their pain. Now, if the news is shocking, like a sudden accident or a crazy surprise, you need something stronger. You can use you are kidding.
You are kidding. That's a good one. It doesn't mean you think they are telling a joke. It means you are shocked. It's like saying, I cannot believe this is true because it is so bad.
Right. Imagine I tell you, Mark, I just walked outside and my car was towed.
You are kidding.
See? That instant reaction makes me feel like you're on my side. You're shocked on my behalf. Another great one for shocking situations is, oh my gosh. We usually avoid oh my god in professional or mixed company just to be safe. But oh my gosh is perfect for everyone.
Oh my gosh, I use that all the time. It's very versatile. What if the news is just purely sad, not necessarily shocking, like I failed my exam?
For that, you want to use adjectives. The pattern is simply that is plus an adjective. But stop saying that is bad. It's too simple. It sounds like a generic response. Upgrade your vocabulary. Try that is terrible or that is awful.
That is terrible. That is awful. These words carry more emotional weight. They show you understand the severity of the situation.
And if it's a really frustrating situation, like dealing with bureaucracy or traffic, you can say, that is so annoying, or that is so frustrating. Notice the word so. It adds that extra layer of empathy.
So step 1 is immediate. As soon as you hear the bad thing, you hit them with an oh no, or that's terrible. You do not wait.
Do not wait. Interrupting with empathy is not rude, it is supportive. It encourages them to keep talking. If you stay silent, they might stop and ask, "Are you listening?" So, step 1 is the reaction. Now let's move to step 2. This is where the magic happens. This is the step most learners skip. Step 2 is validation.
Validation. That sounds like a therapy word. What does it mean in the context of a casual coffee chat?
Validation just means confirming that their feelings are reasonable. It tells the other person, "I understand why you feel this way." It shifts the focus from the facts of the story to the emotions of the person. And we have 2 incredible sentence patterns for this that will make you sound like a native speaker instantly.
Okay, I am ready. What is the first pattern?
The first pattern is, "That sounds" plus an adjective.
That sounds stressful?
Yes, that sounds stressful. That sounds exhausting. That sounds terrifying. Why do we use sounds instead of is? Why not just say, "That is stressful"?
I think saying that is stressful makes it a fact about the situation, but saying that sounds stressful implies that I am listening to your experience of it. It feels softer, more subjective.
Exactly. It is a perception check. You are reflecting their story back to them. If I tell you about my boss yelling at me for 3 hours and you say, "That sounds like a nightmare," I feel deeply understood. I feel like, yes, Mark gets it. It was a nightmare.
And this is a great way to expand your vocabulary too. Instead of just good or bad, you can use specific words. If someone tells you they have been working 80 hours a week, what would you say?
I would say, "That sounds exhausting," or even, "That sounds draining."
And if someone tells you they have a big presentation tomorrow and they are not prepared?
That sounds nerve-wracking. That is a great advanced adjective. Nerve-wracking. It means it wrecks your nerves. It makes you very anxious.
Okay, so pattern 1 is that sounds plus adjective. What is the second pattern for validation?
The second pattern puts the focus directly on the person. It is "you must be" plus adjective.
You must be. That is an interesting grammar point. We're not saying you are. We are using the modal verb must. Why?
When we use "must be" in this context, we are making a logical deduction based on empathy. We are saying, looking at your situation, it is the only logical conclusion that you feel this way. It is a very strong way of affirming their feelings. If you say "you are worried," it sounds like you are telling me how I feel. If you say "you must be worried," it sounds like you are stepping into my shoes and imagining my feelings.
That is a subtle but powerful difference. You must be worried. You must be furious. You must be heartbroken.
Yes, let's try a scenario. I tell you that the airline lost my luggage, and it has my suit for the wedding tomorrow in it.
Oh, Sarah, that is awful. You must be panicking.
Perfect. You used step 1. Oh, that is awful. And step 2, you must be panicking. And you're right, I would be panicking. That combination makes me feel totally supported. I don't feel alone in my panic anymore.
And notice I didn't try to fix it yet. I didn't say, "You should buy a new suit." I just validated the feeling.
That is such a crucial point, Mark. Most of us, especially guys, I think, want to be problem solvers. We hear a problem and we want to offer a solution immediately. But usually when someone is venting, they're not ready for a solution yet. They just want to be heard. If you jump straight to advice, you skip the empathy.
Guilty as charged. I used to do this all the time. Someone would say, "I hate my job," and I would say, "Have you updated your resume?" And they would get annoyed. They didn't want a career coach. They wanted a friend.
Exactly. Save the advice for later or wait until they ask for it. Focus on the validation first. That sounds tough. You must be frustrated. Those are the golden keys to connection.
Okay, so we have reacted and we have validated. Is the conversation over?
Not quite. You need to close the empathy loop. That brings us to step 3, soft support. This is where you offer help, but in a low-pressure way. You want to show that you are available, but you don't want to overwhelm them.
So instead of giving a specific solution, we offer general support?
Right. The classic phrase here is there anything I can do?
Is there anything I can do? I love that phrase. It puts the ball in their court. They can say no or they can ask for a favor, but the offer itself is what matters.
Yes. Even if they say, "No, I'm fine," the fact that you asked makes them feel cared for. Another variation, if the situation is just emotional and not a practical problem, is, "I am here if you need to vent."
To vent. Let's explain that verb. It's very common in real-life English, but textbooks rarely teach it.
To vent means to let off steam. to talk about your negative feelings, just to get them out of your system. It is like opening a window to let smoke out. When you say, I am here if you need to vent, you are saying, I am willing to listen to you complain, and I won't judge you.
That is a true friend. Sometimes you just need to complain for 20 minutes, and knowing someone is willing to listen is a huge relief.
Another great phrase for step 3, especially for serious news, is simply, I am so sorry you are going through this.
I am so sorry you are going through this. That is beautiful. It acknowledges that it is a process, a journey they are on. It is much deeper than just, I'm sorry.
It is. It separates the person from the problem. So let's recap the formula before we start practicing. Step 1, react immediately with emotion. Oh no, that's terrible. Step 2, validate with a pattern. That sounds stressful. You must be exhausted. Step 3, support gently. Is there anything I can do? I'm here for you.
It really creates a nice arc to the conversation. You catch the ball, you look at it, and you hand it back gently.
That is a great metaphor. Now, I want to put this into practice. We are going to run through 3 common scenarios: work stress, a lost item, and a relationship problem. I want our listeners to imagine they are speaking to me. I will be the one with the bad news. Mark, you model the response first. Then we will give the listeners a chance to shadow.
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Scenario 1, work stress. Okay, here's the situation. I come to you, looking tired, dropping my bag on the floor. I say, Mark, I honestly don't know if I can do this anymore. My boss just gave me another project and the deadline is tomorrow. I haven't slept in 2 days.
Oh, wow, Sarah. That sounds incredibly overwhelming. You must be completely burned out. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe grab you a coffee?
That was perfect. Let's break it down. Your reaction was, oh, wow, Sarah. Simple, but the tone showed shock at my workload.
Then I validated. That sounds incredibly overwhelming. I used the adverb incredibly to boost the adjective because you said you haven't slept. That is intense.
And you added, you must be completely burned out. Burned out is a great vocabulary term for work stress. It means you have no energy left, like a candle that has finished burning.
And finally, the support. Is there anything I can do? I even offered a specific small thing, coffee. Small offers are often easier to accept than big ones.
Now, listeners, it is your turn. I am going to say the same complaint. I want you to speak out loud. Don't just think it. Move your mouth. I will leave a pause for you. Ready? Here we go. I honestly don't know if I can do this anymore. My boss just gave me another project and the deadline is tomorrow. I haven't slept in 2 days. Great. Did you say, that sounds exhausting, or you must be tired? If you did, excellent job. You are validating.
Let's try scenario 2. This is a bit more dramatic. A lost item.
Okay, I am looking frantic. I am checking my pockets. I say, you are not going to believe this. I left my laptop on the train. My whole life is on that computer, and I didn't back it up.
Oh no, you are kidding. That is a nightmare. You must be freaking out. Do you want me to help you call the lost and found?
Spot on. The reaction was stronger this time. Oh no, you are kidding. Because leaving a laptop on a train is a shocking, sudden event.
And for validation, I used a noun phrase. That is a nightmare. Sometimes adjectives aren't enough. You have to call the situation what it is, a nightmare.
And then you said, you must be freaking out. Freaking out is a very common phrasal verb for panicking or losing control of your emotions. It is casual, but perfect for friends. And your offer of help was practical. Call the lost and found.
Listeners, your turn. Imagine your friend just lost their laptop. Be shocked. Validate their panic. Offer help.
You are not going to believe this. I left my laptop on the train. My whole life is on that computer, and I didn't back it up. Did you react quickly? Did you say, that is awful? Remember, speed matters. Don't leave silence.
Okay, scenario 3. This is a delicate one, relationship trouble. This requires a softer voice, right?
Yes, lower your volume a little. Show intimacy. Here's the situation. We are sitting quietly. I look sad. I say, Mark, John and I had a huge fight last night. He said some things he can't take back. I think it might be over.
Oh, Sarah, I am so sorry. That sounds heartbreaking. You must be so hurt. I'm here if you want to talk about it or if you just want to be distracted.
That was really kind. The reaction wasn't shocked, it was sad. Oh, Sarah, I am so sorry. You used my name. Using the person's name is a great way to show closeness in sad moments.
And the validation, that sounds heartbreaking. Heartbreaking is the specific word for relationship pain. Sad is too weak. Upset is too weak. Heartbreaking hits the nail on the head.
And the support was open-ended. I am here if you want to talk or be distracted. That is a very emotionally intelligent offer. Sometimes people want to cry. Sometimes they want to watch a movie and forget. Giving them the choice is very powerful.
Listeners, give it a try. Soften your voice, be gentle.
John and I had a huge fight last night. He said some things he can't take back. I think it might be over. Did you feel the difference in tone? This isn't the time for high energy. This is the time for warmth.
These 3 steps, react, validate, support, really do cover almost everything. But are there any traps? Things we should avoid saying?
Yes, there is one major trap that I hear intermediate learners fall into all the time. It is the phrase, at least.
Oh, the at least trap. I know it well.
Someone says, I lost my job, and the learner tries to be positive and says, well, at least you have your health. Or, I broke my leg. Well, at least it wasn't your neck.
It sounds logical, right? You are trying to look on the bright side. But emotionally, how does it feel?
It feels terrible. It feels like you're dismissing my pain. When you say at least, you are telling the person, your problem isn't that bad. Stop complaining. It minimizes their experience. Never start a sentence with at least when comforting someone. Stick to, that sounds tough. Let them feel bad for a moment. It is okay to feel bad.
That is such important advice. Toxic positivity is real. Just be with them in the hole. Don't try to pull them out immediately.
Exactly. Another small trap is making it about you too quickly. If I say, my cat died, don't immediately say, oh, when my cat died in 2010, I cried for weeks.
Right. Empathy is good, but hijacking the conversation is bad. Keep the focus on them for a while. You must be so sad. I can't imagine how hard this is. Then, maybe later, you can share your story to show you relate, but let them have the stage first.
So we have the formula, we have the warnings. I want to talk about one more thing, the body language of empathy, because we're talking about English speaking, but communication is 50% visual.
That is true. You cannot deliver these lines with a blank face. If I say, that sounds terrible, with a smile or a flat face, it sends a mixed message.
Your face needs to match your words. If you say, oh no, furrow your eyebrows, bring them together. If you say, that is shocking, open your eyes wider. If you say, I am so sorry, put a hand on your heart or lean forward. Physical cues help bridge the language gap. If your vocabulary fails you, your face can still say, I care.
And eye contact. Don't look away because you are nervous about your English. Look them in the eye. It shows confidence and compassion.
Let's do a final rapid-fire round to keep these phrases fresh. I will give you a short piece of newsmark, and you give me just the step 2 validation. Just the validation. Ready?
Ready.
My rent is going up by $200 next month.
That sounds stressful. You must be annoyed.
Perfect. Next one. I have a dentist appointment, and I am terrified of dentists.
That sounds scary. You must be nervous.
Good. Next. I finally finished that 50-page report.
Oh, good news. That sounds satisfying. You must be relieved.
Yes. See, this formula works for good news too, in a way. Validation works both ways. But for today, we're focusing on the hard stuff.
You know, learning this script changed how I interact with people in my second language. I used to avoid asking people, how are you? Because I was afraid they would actually tell me. I wanted them to say I am fine so I could stay safe.
I think so many of our listeners relate to that, the fear of deep conversation.
But once I had these patterns, that sounds difficult. You must be worried. I started inviting those conversations. I started asking, how are you really? Because I knew I could handle the answer. And that is where you make real friends.
That is the transformation we want for you. We want you to stop being a student of English and start being a user of English. A user of English connects with people. They don't just pass tests.
So here is your challenge for this week. It is a simple one.
We want you to look for one opportunity to use the validation pattern. It doesn't have to be a tragedy. If a colleague says, the traffic was bad today, do not just nod. Say, oh no, that sounds annoying. You must be frustrated.
Start small. Practice on the little complaints, the traffic, the weather, the slow coffee line. Get that muscle memory working. That sounds X, you must be Y.
And if you're watching this video and thinking, I need to remember these phrases, don't just hope you'll remember. Write them down. Put them on a sticky note on your desk. That sounds, you must be. The more you see them, the more you will use them.
And hey, if you found this lesson helpful, if it made you feel a little less anxious about those heavy conversations, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a community here that talks about real life, not just textbook grammar.
Yes, every week we tackle a new topic that you actually face in your daily life. Next week, we might be talking about how to disagree politely or how to explain a mistake at work. If you want to build the English you need to navigate your world, you are in the right place.
Before we go, I want to ask you, Sarah, what is the best reaction you ever received when you shared bad news?
That is a great question. I think it was when my bicycle was stolen a few years ago. I loved that bike. And I told my friend, and she didn't try to solve it. She didn't tell me to call the police immediately. She just looked at me and said, Sarah, I know how much you loved that bike. That is heartbreaking. And just hearing her acknowledge my attachment to the object made me feel valid. I wasn't being silly for being sad about a bike. I was being human.
That is the power of validation. It makes us feel human, and we can do that for others, even in a second language.
So remember the formula. Don't freeze, react. Oh no. Validate. That sounds hard. Support. I am here. You have the tools now. You just need to be brave enough to use them.
You can do this. Next time the moment comes, take a breath, look them in the eye, and say, that sounds tough. You will be amazed at how the conversation opens up.
Thanks for talking about it with us today. Go out there, listen to your friends, and speak with kindness. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.